Welcome back to Under Oath. Today we have actor, writer, producer, Jonathan Bennett. Jonathan, can you hear me?
I can hear you well.
When the office hears my interviews for the week, they get excited. Some of them get really excited, but man, that Mean Girl cred is killing it for you, dude.
Mean Girls is the gift that keeps on giving. It is such an honor to be part of a movie that's just so pop. It's just part of pop culture. You know, everyone loves it and they watch it over and over and over because it's just so good and so funny. And it's the perfect movie.
You know, every time they talk about doing an anniversary or everything else, I mean, have you ever gone to the theater recently? Because they do these like pop-ups where they go, okay, we're going to do the 25th anniversary. We're going to do the 20th anniversary. Have you ever had to do one of those?
I haven't done one of the anniversary screenings, but they do a lot of park movies in the park under the stars, and sometimes we'll go to those where they're showing up like in the summer outside, and there's a bunch of people on blankets, and sometimes I'll pop in and surprise everyone and like just do a little talk, and it's so much fun because it transcends generations. Because my dad, who loved the movie, he was like 65 years old, and he's like, this movie's so great, and then my nephew, who's like 13, loved the movie. So it's because high school's universal, and this movie is about high school. And the thing is, no matter how old you are, what state you live in, every lunchroom in high school is the same. You got the jocks with the jocks, the band kids with the band kids, the cheerleaders with the cheerleaders. Like, it never changes. And so I think that's why the movie has such staying power, is because it just universally, everyone watches it, can relate to it.
Now, I know when you head off to New York, you're going, okay, I want to be an actor. And then you get All My Children, which I think is a pretty cool thing to be able to get, like one of the first jobs.
Not a bad gig for being 19 years old from Toledo, Ohio, and moving to New York with nothing but a hope and a dream. So yeah, it was definitely, it was 2000, and I booked J.R. Chandler on All My Children, and I got to do that role for 2.5 years, and it was like boot camp for acting. You got to learn how to be an actor by being on a soap, and it just changed the course of everything. It just made me a better actor, and it was the best job in the world.
Now, I hear actors sometimes complain about having to memorize a lot of stuff, but nothing can compare to doing a soap opera.
No, I mean, if you can do a soap opera for 2.5 years, you can do anything. It's that intense. And, I took some of that into Finding Mr. Christmas, my new show. It's like kind of the same thing. It's like boot camp for actors.
I saw the preview for it, and I see these 9 guys, and does it take you back to when you were first trying to, get going? You're going, please let this work out. Do you see it in their face when you're on set and go, God, I feel so bad for all of them?
I'm crying every episode when we have to eliminate one of them. And so for those that listening that might not know, Finding Mr. Christmas is Hallmark Channel's search for the next leading man. It's our search for the next Christmas movie star hunk that we've all known to come and love. We take 10 guys. We put them in one house. They compete in different acting challenges with the biggest stars of Hallmark. All of our big leading ladies are in the show. They compete, actually do scenes with them. One by one, they're eliminated, and then the winner gets crowned Mr. Christmas, and he gets a lead role in a Hallmark movie. So we're literally letting the audience in on the audition process. But the reason I created the show is because I wanted to turn around and extend the hand to other people, to other guys, so they can have their dreams come true. Because I know how hard it was to be an actor, starting out my career and like wanting that job so bad. So when I'm standing up there and I have to eliminate one of them, I get so emotional. I cry. Like, it's so touching because I've been in their shoes. Like, I know what it's like to want the role. And although not all of them get to win, they all learn so much by coming on the show and being put in this actor boot camp. And they realize, like, being a Hallmark leading man is a lot harder than it looks.
Now, shows like Survivor, shows like yours, where somebody actually gets the boot. I mean, I assume they have mental counselors on the set going, hey, listen, it's not going to be that bad after they're done. Like, not just, hey, you're out.
Right. What I love about Hallmark Channel is that we're doing reality differently, right? We do reality with heart. So when you watch the show, you're not going to see any drink throwing, table flipping, fighting. These 10 guys, they walk in as competitors, but they leave as brothers. Like, each one of them said, when in their exit interview, they said, this was the best experience of my life. I would do it again in a heartbeat. I didn't win, but I made 9 friends, and friends that, like, they're all friends for life. So when they leave, they're sad, and it really sucks for them. I get it, but at the same time, we put them through such a great experience where we just want them to be their best and shine every episode. And I think that's what's so different about this show. Sure, it's a reality show, but it's designed for people that love Christmas movies. If you love Christmas movies, this is the show for you. If you love reality competitions, this is the show for you. But it's done in a lens where there's no ill will ever on the show. And so that's such a refreshing thing to see. And also, you have grown men being vulnerable, and like they open up and they share parts of their lives, and they share the things that scare them and the things that they are, afraid of. And all of a sudden one of them's talking about it, and then the next one chimes in and he goes, "Oh, I feel that way sometimes too." And so you get this beautiful, like, grown men being vulnerable on national television and like bonding. It's really remarkable to watch.
I think of your career, and I've tracked it for a very long time, and it's just so amazing to watch the big things that you've done. And I think one of the most important things you've done is open the door to a lot of actors who are scared about their own sexuality and things like that, where they're going, I don't know if I could be a leading man. I don't know if I can do that. I mean, you pretty much kicked open that door for a lot of people, dude.
Yeah. And that's the whole point of kicking open, right? Like, the reason I kick open doors is so that other people can walk through them. Not, it's when I did the first same-sex kiss on Hallmark Channel in the Christmas house in 2020, the response I got of so many people who watch Hallmark Channel and so many people who are gay felt seen. And what was so amazing is Hallmark Channel is watched through all the country, especially middle America loves Hallmark Channel. And so for other guys to be sitting there saying, "I've watched these movies for 10 years with my family at Christmas, and I'm gay, and now for the first time, I get to see a love story that looks like mine on the place where love stories are told, and my mom and dad are sitting next to me, and maybe mom and dad don't really understand his life and don't really understand who he is, but now they get to see what his love looks like in a movie and in a setting that's very familiar to the parents." They go, "Oh, his love looks just like ours." You know what I mean? So it really changes hearts and minds for some people.
What's very strange is last week I was having a conversation about how tough it is for gay actors to come out there's always a fear of roles and everything else like this. And I can't even imagine what you went through early in your career, just going, I can't say anything. I can't do anything.
Yes.
I mean, your friends, the push of your friends going, "Hey, listen, you know how important it would be if you did this." I mean, what does that do to you inside?
It doesn't do well inside. Let me tell you. Starting out my career being Aaron Samuels in Mean Girls and playing like this object of affection to the Plastics. And, I had to play the character, which I was, acting is playing someone else. So to me, it was no big deal to do it. But then I realized it was 2004. Like, it was a different time. You couldn't be a leading actor in Hollywood and be out. I mean, I guess you could, but no one did it. Everyone was afraid. And it took me about 10 years to realize, like, I can't do this anymore. Like, I can't not just like live my authentic self. And like, I can't always be looking over my shoulder of like being worried that people will find out that I'm gay. Like, at one point, especially it happened when I met my now husband, I was like, this guy's amazing and I love him. And I need to just tell the world that, because I don't want to hide this because it's too important to me. And when I came out, all the fears that I had of like, "Oh, your fans aren't going to like you. They're going to run away from you. They're going to be mad that you're gay," was completely the opposite. They celebrated it and just embraced it. And they were like, "Oh my gosh, that's so amazing. We love you." Like, it was just, a lot of times in life, we have things that we're afraid of because, we're afraid that they're going to go wrong. And majority of the times they don't. And we have to remember that, right? Like, we have the fear, but it doesn't really always end up being as scary as we thought it was.
When I think, I don't use words. I mean, I served in the military a long time ago. I've heard hero, brave, and everything else like that. I can't even imagine that day you're sitting there going, I think I'm going to do this.
We're going to post it.
How sick you're going to be, that whole day going, this could either be the
I think
best
I
thing
got
for
a
me.
stomach ulcer from it, to be honest. It was, or the stomach ulcer happened from like years of living in fear and hiding it, and then that day it was a simple thing. It was a post on Instagram, and that's all it was. And it was like, I remember sitting there and like getting ready to push post. And I was like, all right, well, if I never work again, I never work again. And I posted it, and I have never worked more in my life than I have in the past 5 years since I showed the world who I was. Because what happens? All of a sudden they see you as a human. And when they see you as a human and they see your soul and they see who you are, they're able to connect with you. And when they're able to connect with you, they want to watch you. You know what I mean? It's that when you're really authentic, people will then gravitate towards you because people like authenticity. They like to know the real human, not the like produced human. They want to know the real human. And so I think that's what the reaction was when I came out.
That's ridiculously amazing, and I love hearing that
Thank
story.
you.
And it just makes you go, wow! I can't imagine somebody had to walk this life. But let's go back to the show. You're a producer now, and that's a big difference from just, hey, I'm going on stage, I'm doing my lines.
It's a big difference from just showing up and putting on your suit and saying your lines. I created this show because like I said, like I know what it's like to want to be an actor so bad. And so I was like, what if we gave this opportunity to people, to guys to like make their dreams come true? Producing it comes with so many challenges. First of all, we got to find the right 10 hunks. We have to find the right 10 guys that have all the qualities that you look for in a Hallmark leading man, which are: you've got to be funny, you've got to have a sense of humor, you've got to be charming, you have to be kind, and you have to have a good heart. Those are like the 5 qualities that we all turn on Hallmark Channel to look at those guys and see, right? And of course, you've got to look good in a Christmas sweater or out of a Christmas sweater. Our show has a lot of guys out of Christmas sweater. There's a lot of muscles on the show. And give the audience what they want. They want to see the fantasy of the guy that's going to rescue them at Christmas. So, what's so fun is, when in finding the right guys, we have Jake Shum, who is, a kicker in the NFL for Green Bay Packers. We have an EMT, we have a photographer, we have a realtor, we have an actor, we have models. We have all these people from different walks of life, and they're all coming together because we all know someone in our life. Yeah. Everyone has this person, whether it be your nephew, your neighbor, the guy that delivers your UPS. Everyone has someone where they go, oh, you should be in the Hallmark movies, right? Like all my aunts are like, oh, John, I met this guy. He would be perfect for your Hallmark movies. I'm like, Aunt Lori, you just have a crush on a UPS deliverer. That's who that is. And so, we all have that person. And so that's kind of how we find these 10 guys that are just not only good looking, of course, they're all stunning, like absolutely stunning, but they're all just good dudes. So that's step 1 in creating the show, is finding the right core talent. Who are 10 guys that really have what it takes to be this man? And then we put them in crazy acting challenges, and I get to design those challenges. This episode coming up on Monday night at 8:00 on Hallmark, episode 3, we have Ali Sweeney, who's a TV legend. Oh, yeah. And she's a Hallmark legend. And she actually is in the scene with the guys, and we give them a script. They have 10 minutes to learn it. And then we throw them on a horse, and they have to do the scene while riding a horse and talking to Ali Sweeney. It is such good reality television because they have one take to get it right. And sometimes the horses don't cooperate. Sometimes they do. So it's so much fun to just watch the chaos of what it's like filming a Hallmark movie. Because when I'm shooting a movie and we have animals on set, they never listen. And so you have to just work with it in the moment. So we put them in these, we found a way to gamify all the tropes of a Hallmark movie. You have the meet cute, you have the family scene, you have the group dinner scene, you have the kiss at the end of the movie, you have the first date scene. So we take each of those tropes and we do an episode about it and find a way to gamify that as an acting challenge.
What I love about the Hallmark Channel is it's so addictive addictive to everybody I know. They're going, oh my God, last night I was watching this and I'm going, what is it? And I think people just want to be happy. They just want to see something that makes them feel good. Like good stuff can happen if you do the right thing.
Correct. And that is exactly what we do at Hallmark Channel. You know, we're the network of love, connection, hope, and family. And it's our movies end the same way. And they're always have a happy ending. And I think people tune in because with how crazy the world is, you know there's going to be a happy ending. You don't have to worry. You know, no matter what happens in the movie, it's going to be okay. And I think people just need to hear that it's going to be okay. And that's why they watch these. I say there are two types of people in the world. There are people that watch Hallmark movies, and then there are liars. And because once you're hooked, and you're like, now I got to see the next one. Is she going to save the bake shop? I need to know.
I can imagine all these butch dudes going, yeah, I don't watch that. And they're going, and they come up to you. Oh, I loved it.
Are you kidding? Oh, I mean, I have just grown men coming up to me in the airport telling me how much they love the movies. And their wife is always like, oh, he cries like a baby at the end of all of them. Like, and it's a release, right? There's a crazy world and we need a release where we can just escape to during the holidays and like feel good. And that's what Hallmark Channel does. It's become a part of people's lives. It's no longer a network. It's a life work.
Oh, I love that. I love that so much because every time you see something, whether it be reality, whether it be social media, everything's so negative. And it's nice to see that there's one avenue out there where we don't go angry every second of the day.
And we don't talk politics. That's a big thing on our network. We don't talk we want to be the escape that the world needs, right? We want to be that 2 hours you can turn your brain off.
We got just about 2 minutes left, but I also want to get this in. A Keller Christmas Vacation is coming up too.
Okay, so November 9th, this Sunday coming up, is A Keller Christmas Vacation. It's a movie that I wrote, produced, and star in.
Jeez.
It's based on my actual family because a lot of people listening, just like my family, is highly dysfunctional. We have a highly dysfunctional family. Like my family just basks in dysfunction. And so I thought, why not make a real movie that has, you know, a family that the audience can really relate to, the siblings that don't get along and they're always at odds, because so many people have that. And so what if we took a dysfunctional family and we dropped them on a river market cruise, like a riverboat cruise in Europe down the Douro River, where they're going to Vienna Christmas markets and Salzburg Christmas markets, all the most beautiful Christmas markets in the world is the backdrop. And we drop this dysfunctional family in the middle of all that. Hilarity ensues, but it's also very touching, very heartwarming. And it's based on my actual family because my dad would make us go on a houseboat trip every year with my brothers and sister because he's like, if you're on a boat, you guys have to talk to each other. And so he would force us to go on this boat and get along. He's like, it's forced family fun. So I thought, and at the end of the trip, we always were a little bit closer. We always grew a little bit closer. And so for this movie, that's what happens. You put the Keller kids in the middle of a riverboat where they can't go anywhere. They're stuck together. And through that, they end up growing and bonding and coming closer. So I just think it's the perfect movie.
Yeah, I love that. Before I found this interview, my assistant came up to me and Jonathan, he goes, oh my God, my mother and I, we love Jonathan so much. I'm a Jonathan. He's a Jonathan. Is there any way he could give me a happy birthday next week?
Jonathan, from Jonathan to Jonathan, happy birthday.
Oh, well, I have never done that, but I really appreciate you doing
Absolutely.
that. And hey, great success for you. I think what you've done is inspirational. I think it has made such a huge impact in so many lives. And I'm so glad you chose this profession.
Thank you. Well, I don't know how to do anything else, so I'm glad I chose it too.
Be well.